Hey everyone, Carrie back here with Family eBiz, where we help families start and scale online businesses to find freedom in their life, to follow the calling that they've been called to do. We are in the middle of a series about confidence, about mindset, that good old thing called imposter syndrome that so many of us have struggled with or are still struggling with as well. Let's be real, all right? Entrepreneurs think this. No one's going to buy my course, my service, my offer. You've poured so many hours into this, maybe even months, but deep down there's still this nagging feeling. What if it's not good enough? What if people don't get results? I can relate. That is how I felt before I launched Racing Leaders, Not Followers. Now, I knew it helped because it had changed the way that I homeschooled, but I still had that little nagging feeling deep down inside. You are not alone. That fear doesn't mean your offer lacks value. Usually it means you need more clarity and a clear way to serve your audience confidently, right? It's not the item that you're selling, it's usually within yourself, and you need to grow some confidence. And we are going to talk about how you can validate um, selling your product, growing with confidence, and then start seeing some real results. So, let's talk about this. Dr. Valerie Young, this is the coolest story. I was researching for this podcast episode, and Valerie came up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I know her. I just messaged her on Facebook. She was at Wimbledon. This was years ago, 2008. Okay, so that's almost 20 years ago. That was the first mastermind that we joined with Yannick Silver. It was pretty high end. It was like $10,000 a year. And that's where we got to know Valerie. And so as I was reading this, all these thoughts about what I remembered, what she was teaching back then, and people are still using what she has to say. She is the author of The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women. And she explains how most qualified people often feel like imposters. They underestimate their value and their credentials. They believe, oh, I just need one more certification or just a little more experience before we're allowed to help people. And that's just not true. She says many people who suffer from imposter syndrome don't feel worthy of success, even when they've earned it. In one of her talks, she was talking about a Harvard graduate who was working in a respectful leadership position, still felt like fraud. Not because she lacked value, it was because she doubted her ability to deliver it. It goes back to this mindset within ourselves. What she had was changing people's lives, it was her confidence in delivering that. So, I want to help you work through this today. You might feel like your offer, your course, your product isn't worth money. I have seen so many of you price things at like $5. And I'm like, at least 15 or $20 if you went to the time to create it. And, people are like, I'm in the homeschool group and they just don't spend money. So I can only charge $5 or $10. I sell a homeschool course for $197 and it sells. That speaks volumes. And it took me some time to build that confidence, and be able to do that. But there were strategies, and I'm going to share one of the things that I did before we launched it. I have been selling this information since like 2010. Started out in a little ebook and then a paperback, and then it has grown into a full course. It's online, and you can go in videos and PDFs and exercises and coaching and you name it. Anyway, you might feel your offer isn't worth the money, but that is rarely true. The real issue is confidence and proof, and that's something you can fix. So, the first thing I want you to consider is validating your product with an imperfect launch. It does not need to be perfect. What you want to do is test it with real people. I don't remember what we called this, but I was looking for founding members. I figured if I could get 10 founding members to get this course, and I want to say I may have even sold it to them for half off. And so if I could get 10 people to work with me for about 6 weeks before I launch it, I could get feedback from them. They could try it. I could get testimonials from them as well. So this is a great way to get beta testers. And I worked with them on crafting the offer and everything. So you'll find out what resonates with your audience, where they are getting stuck, what results they're already getting. And this is proof of your concept. Once someone says, this helped me so much, not only are you helping them, you're giving yourself more confidence. And you start to see that your product, your course, whatever your offer is, has value, and your confidence will grow. You know, it's been said when I was reading about some startup founders, and they said they all struggled with imposter syndrome. But as they started to make sales and had people following them, their imposter syndrome faded. So, just a few sales, some DMs with results, people thanking you, that imposter syndrome can reduce. So, you know, sometimes we can feel down and we're like, I'm not sure, no one bought it. But then all of a sudden, a stranger buys it. And then another, and then they leave positive feedback. It changes everything. You see, you can't fake traction. Even $50 in sales from someone you don't know tells you something's working. It's not about raking in thousands of dollars. It's about real people getting value from what you offer. Did you hear that? It's not about making tons of money. It's about real people that you are helping getting value and seeing that transformation. So we want to change our messaging from just telling them what it is to showing them the transformation. Describe what's in your offer, but you also want to describe what changed. Features and benefits. You need both in a good offer. What's the difference between features and benefits? Feature, you'll get 5 video trainings, 3 PDFs, and a checklist. Well, why? Who cares? Why would I buy that? Now, this is a benefit or the transformation. You'll stop wasting time every week figuring out what to post and finally have a consistent content plan. Just see, I stop wasting time. That would be awesome. You want to position your product around transformation. I always say lead with transformation, then tell them what's inside your product. Use your own story. If you don't have any testimonials, use your own story. I'll be honest, when I first started talking about leadership education and raising leaders, not followers, I could tell my story because it changed the way we homeschool. It gave us purpose and intention. And I wasn't just wasting time homeschooling. And my kids were prepared or more prepared for real life. So even if you're brand new, you can give the before and after and how it has changed your life. That is valid and that is proof. People buy outcomes, not just features. So you can offer a beta or founding members offer for people and work with them for a little bit before you actually launch. Plus, when you get them, it will make you put a launch date on your calendar and you'll go public with it. You can get feedback and you can get testimonials. Remember to keep that wins folder. That's going to give you more confidence and change your mindset. And then reframe your sales page. I'll be really honest. I right now I'm in the middle of promoting Homeschool Superheroes. It's in about 3 weeks. And into June, I was like, this sales page is not converting. I was getting hardly any sales. And so, yet I used that similar format in February, great sales. Last year, great sales. I was like, I got to do something. I spent a half a day rewriting the top of my sales page and going, how will this help them? How can I communicate that to them? And so I did. And the very next week, it started converting much better. And so I did tweak the top and I tweaked a few other little places underneath it before we got to the features. So I wanted them to be able to visualize how this could help them as well. So you want to focus on benefits and transformation. This builds trust. It will build your confidence and it will build momentum. And when you have momentum, you can keep going. So here's what I want you to do. Send one message to someone who you think would be a perfect fit for your product. Now, it's up to you whether you sell it or if you want to give it away. I'm not going to go down that, but we want you to see there really is value. Excuse me. And you can charge a good amount if people are getting transformation. Quit thinking you can only sell things for $5, $10, or $15. Ask this person if they would be willing to give you feedback. Let them know you want to improve this product with their help. That's all. You don't need a list of 10,000 people, just one or two people that can share the transformation that your product offers them. That's it. You don't need millions of people. You just need to take the next step. So go and get your beta testers, rework your sales page or your landing page. And both of those can build momentum and confidence and clarity. Hey, I'm Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.